Hey everyone, this is Pam Reese with Adventures in Aging, and again, I'm here with my friend
Gary Vandenberg. Pam, it's great to be back again. I want to always start our programs with thanking our sponsor, Stridelight, stridelight.net. Stridelight provides quality diabetic shoes, custom inserts, orthotics, all lower extremity needs. For over 20 years, they've been providing quality feet-related products. Please mention Stridelight to your doctor or podiatrist for the best solutions for your feet needs. Thank you, Stridelight, stridelight.net. Well, Pam, what is our topic today?
Well, it's an irritating topic, Gary, because we're going to talk solely about irritants, things that make us irritable.
You know, it's not hard to come up with that list, is it?
No, no.
I look forward to that. And, you know, I think sometimes when you begin to think about it, it kind of falls in different categories. One thing that comes to my mind is just people that have closed minds. Does that make sense? It's one of the first things.
Explain that to me.
You know, people that are offended by everything you say. Have you run into somebody like that yet? And
you can't say anything right.
Offended. You cannot say anything right. And the more you try to talk your way out of it, it's more, irritating. Then they fall into that category of knowing everything.
Oh, the know-it-alls.
They know it all. They've done it all. They fixed everything you could possibly fix. They're just a wealth.
So everything you talk about, they overtalk you because they know that subject better than you.
Absolutely. Isn't that something? And then somehow, even when you're, I always say, what drives me crazy is someone that's the eternal pessimist. You know what I mean?
Debbie Downers.
I tend to be the eternal optimist, but it's
that also, Gary, can be irritating.
And believe me, we'll get into that too. The eternal optimist.
Yes.
When it's, I've had people say to me, "You're just rearranging chairs on the Titanic. You're so optimistic."
Right. Right. No, there's an irritating thing about that.
But the pessimist that says, "Hey, I look outside. Hey, it's a nice day outside." No, it's not.
Right.
Hey, it's we should do something. No, we shouldn't. And it's like, oh my gosh.
Or it's a nice day out today. Yeah, it's too hot.
Yeah, it's too hot, and now it's too cold, or it's
there's always something wrong.
The world's going to come to an end. Or they take something that's manageable to kind of get through an everyday problem, and it becomes this is the end of the world kind of thing. This is going to ruin everything.
Yes.
If you're at a job, I think I hear all the times, everyone's going to quit. It's one of those things.
Oh, that's irritating. They're not all going to quit.
Everybody's going to quit. When today they're all going to quit. Oh, yep, they're all quitting today. You have no idea.
Yeah. And then that creates nothing but frustration in you, because maybe they are, right? What can you do about that right this very minute?
Oh, yeah. And, some things that irritate me, and we'll bring this up a few times, there are things that I'm sure irritate people about me. Does that make sense?
So let's talk about that. What are your irritating traits?
Right. Well, we'll dive into that as we're getting in each of these categories. This one about closed-mindedness is, what always bothered me is when I had a boss or somebody that they're making a decision based mainly on their gut feeling about things. Right?
Okay.
Have you ever met some?
Yes.
But then in reality, I'm like, well, they should have had more information. They should have taken more time. They should have analyzed, and then I'm the next guy that says, yeah, let's just do it today. See what I'm saying? It's like, but we don't need to even plan ahead. Let's just get this done right now. We don't need to have any more discussions. And I'm sure some people are like, hey, Gary's doing what he doesn't like his own boss doing. See what I'm saying? So it's
yes.
But,
see how that is? Sometimes you don't like things in others that you do yourself.
Yeah, I don't need to hear everybody's opinion about some things. Let's just do it. And I'm sure my bosses over the years have said the same things. I don't need to hear Gary rant and rave and show me more charts and graphs. And,
I kind of agree with that. People that can't make a decision because they have to talk to others first.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a place for that, but then there's everyday things. You don't need that. Just do it.
Well,
I was just going to say one thing that just drives me crazy. I kind of grouped these in different categories in my mind, so I wrote down a few notes. But anything related with cars, isn't that something? How irritating it can be. I had I think it's the car I'm driving right now. Every once in a while, something breaks. And I remember going down the road, and this isn't just people; it's irritating things.
Yeah.
And it's this thunderstorm, and the windshield wiper came right off the car. It went over
just
the top
flew
of the,
right off? Oh
yeah.
my God, that's just angry. Right?
I'm driving down. Now I can't see,
Right,
sometimes, and how irritating that is, anything related to just, trying to get your car to work when it's not working, when all the lights come on and my car,
all those dashboard lights telling you to.
Yes. It says it's powering down. I don't know what is powering down.
Right.
It's like all of a sudden it goes down to like 5 miles an hour till I have to pay a couple
or
$100
check oil. And I swear I just had it checked 2 weeks ago. Right.
Oh yeah. And then, and then again with cars, it's just the idea that, what always drives me crazy. I think this is one of the top 5 things in my life is when somebody's helping me do an oil change and they have that little can where the little bottle, they're putting new oil in. Right.
Yeah.
And they have to get the last drop of oil. And that last drop takes literally
I'm irritated hearing it.
Like minutes. It's like, I think we're done. 99.9999% of the oil is in. No, we got to get the last drop going in there. And then there's always people either ahead of you or behind you in cars. Have you ever had this where,
you know what, Gary? People behind me riding me close is one of my biggest irritants. I hate that. And some people that are right on your tail there. Yes, I can't take it.
How about the person that passes you and then slows down? Have you had that? That's just.
Are you not talking out loud to them in your car and you're doing it without trying to create, obvious road rage? Right.
Oh, and right. And this must be something in the last 20 years or something. But, when they do interstate construction, they do it on both sides of both sides.
Yes.
And most of the time, there's nobody even working. You see what I'm saying?
Why can't I go on the other side of those cones?
And it just drives me crazy to do that. And then I love to hate this. There's people that I'm driving in my own family that will tell me how to drive and where to park. And I'm sharing this with our podcast group. I got so mad one time, I just parked and walked away from the car because I was like, well, I was told to go park in a certain parking space. What difference does it make?
So you parked the car. Where'd you walk to?
I was going to walk home. It was like an 8-mile walk.
Okay.
Isn't that funny?
Did you go back?
About a mile down the road, my family finally came and picked me up.
Oh, Gary.
I hope you're over whatever was your problem.
Irritation turned into anger.
Isn't that funny how something like that can just go off?
These are triggers. These are actual triggers in life.
And then I don't know if you've ever seen, I've seen people read books, put on makeup, eat sandwiches, everything, and they're going like 20 miles an hour, right? Ahead of you. I mean, they're not.
I'm a makeup putter on her in the car.
Are you?
Yes.
I think we're all multi-task on that.
Yes.
The other thing that's come up in the last couple of years is just anything with COVID, right? And
yes.
Are you getting tired of that?
I'm tired of COVID. COVID is irritating me.
Hopefully people will hear our podcast years from now and say, I'm glad I wasn't around during that. But, at some point, there's some people, they're like a record player. They keep bringing up the same thing over and over and over.
I'm over it, Gary. I am over COVID, as we all are.
And now people at this time in our lives, they're using it as excuses. I actually was in the Mall of America recently.
Okay.
The Mall of America. Have you ever been there?
I have. It's been years, but I have been there.
Well, now because of COVID, everyone's using that as an excuse to close their store halfway through the day, early, everything like that.
Yes. Well, or it could be no employees.
If you stay at I'm sure it is, but if you stay at hotels, you might as well just be your own housekeeper. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not going to clean your room until you move out. And it's just, it's becoming a little bit more of an easy excuse not to do things. So
no, I'm glad you brought that up because I am finding that new irritation in me. So, for instance, trying to go to Taco Bell after 7:00 in certain areas, they're closed because they don't have enough employees because of COVID, right? Because of the pandemic that created this horribleness of unemployment. Now it's hard to get employees, and so many of the regular spots that you always counted on to be open, they're not open.
Oh yeah, it's just, and so we'll move from there to my next category.
Okay, all right.
And the next thing is I call them fake people that are fake. How's that sound?
Fake people.
And I've had a handful of these people in my life where they're all talk and no action. Have you ever met people like that?
Oh, yeah.
You're at a meeting, a work meeting. We can do this. In the back of your mind's going, they're not going to do anything.
They never have. What makes you think they're doing anything. It now?
They get promoted. They get raises. They get, whatever. They've never done anything. I've never seen them do anything. And so
they're fakers.
Oh, they're professional talkers is what they are. And then the other thing, and I fall guilty in some of these too. It's somebody that has this fabulous title. Pam, I am the president of my company. Do you know that?
Oh, and they like to bring that up at every opportunity.
Yeah, and I'm the only employee in my company, so that's always that's the fakeness of it is to have some kind of a highfalutin. Oh yes, I'm president, of this organization.
Yes. Or you're talking about, maybe a new product that you found, and the person you're talking to says, "Oh, I helped develop that." I. and you go, "No, you didn't. You didn't have anything to do with that."
They invented Post-it notes and stuff like that.
Right.
You didn't invent any of that stuff. But, and then there's other people too that, I think these are people that say, they'll pay you back someday. Have you ever run into somebody?
Oh, yeah. They never pay you back.
And sometimes they're strangers, and they use that. I think the problem is they say, can I bum a cigarette off you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You probably have to. And, they're going to come back and find you in life and hand you your cigarette back, right?
Or can I borrow a quarter? Can I borrow $1?
Yeah. Why don't they just say, give me $1, give me a cigarette.
In other words, just say it.
Just say it.
Go up to someone and say, give me $5. Right?
Yeah, you got a probably 50-50 chance.
Well, that would be irritating too, though.
Oh, yeah. And then, there's always people that, what's so funny is people say that they'll always be there for you. They're your friends, and then the minute you call them on anything, I'm sorry, I'm really busy,
yes.
This afternoon, tomorrow. In fact, I'm really busy the rest of my life. In
fact, I will continually tell you I'll help you, but I'm not.
Yeah. Isn't that hilarious?
It is.
And this stuff starts grinding on you. We see it in our lives all the time, don't we? And then it ties in with my next major category, and that's just bad habits, right?
Oh, yes.
And I was recently on a great train ride. I took it from all the way out to Seattle. I was on there literally like 50 hours, right, on this train.
That's irritating in itself.
The woman in front of me hummed. She hummed songs.
On, Gary.
24 hours a day for the 50
songs.
hours. She hummed songs in her sleep when she was awake.
Oh.
We couldn't move away from her. I had earplugs in. I was freaking out. I'm going, I can't. This woman is humming. She's humming at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I put my earplugs in, and it must be like what only dogs can hear. It was that level of frequency.
Tone.
And I'm like,
and you were the dog. You heard it.
What do I do? And then there's people that just, just common everyday kind of habits as far as, I just say it's like, when it comes to like throwing things away in the wastebasket. Isn't that funny? Like a small irritant. If you're in a public restroom and they miss the toilet, they also miss the wastebasket with things, right?
So that irritates you?
Yeah, why pick it up and put your little paper towel in there.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yes.
But tied in with that is I'm one of those that jumps in and out of a shower in 3 minutes, right? I'm in there, do my duty.
You don't hang out in that shower.
Yeah. And what's the deal? Sometimes I have relatives and friends, hey, they've been in there for 40 minutes.
No, my husband. Gary, it's almost irritating to me. So my husband, when he takes a shower, it's an event. He is in that shower forever.
What are they doing? Are they reading books?
What are you doing? And he has his routine and he enjoys it. And I'm like you. I don't want to mess around in that shower. I just want to get clean and get out. I want to be done.
Right. Yeah. And then I just also throw in here, it's just there's some people that lose things. I lose some things. It irritates me about myself, right?
Sure.
I have like a little calendar I was looking at for this morning. I'm looking all over the place. I lose it every day. It's like, what is wrong with me, right?
Yes. There's other things we could say about that.
But there's people that they misplace their keys constantly.
Right.
I've got relatives that it's like, I can't find my keys. It's like at some point you would change your habit, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
As to where you put your keys.
Do you find your blood pressure rising when you're around them and you hear that again for like the 10th time?
Yeah, it's like, after, what is it? If it happens once, it's me. If it's twice, it's you.
Oh my
if it's 50 times, it's definitely
Gary,
you.
You're living a life of being irritated.
Oh yeah. Well, now we come to hobbies, right? That's my next major.
Okay, so some people's hobbies are irritating.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The ones that jump out to me, that really jump out to me, is somebody that wants to show you a picture of like something, like a picture of their trip or the picture of their cat or their kid. Nothing wrong with that, but it turns into now a photo,
opportunity. It's a photo opportunity.
How many pictures do you have on your phone? Oh, I've got 700. I got 3,000. And they want to start showing me. And sometimes they take the same picture of a tree like 5 times, right? So,
yes. Let me show you this angle.
Oh, yeah. It can be a little bit irritating. And maybe this is a little quirky thing on my side here. But I've got some relatives that they're ferocious readers. They read books. And I think that's wonderful. Good job. It's an interesting thing.
But it irritates you.
What irritates me is I say, hey, tell me a little bit about one of these books you've read. And, and they go silent. They look at me like I've just offended them by asking them to share.
Because did they really read them?
Well, I'm sure they're reading them. But why would you spend hours, a day or week reading something that you never are ever going to share with anybody?
Well, Gary, I think that maybe that hobby sounds nice. Oh, what's your hobbies? Oh, I love to read. Well, what was your last favorite book? There's a hesitation, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
yeah.
That's something.
Just say you don't have a hobby. I have no hobbies. I don't do anything.
Now, there's a term out there called church up. Have you ever heard that? I never heard that.
Church up. No.
Yeah. I recently had somebody telling me this where somehow that is when you're talking about something that's a lot more important than it really is. Does that make sense? Somebody says they're the logistics manager for the central United States. Well, and somebody looks at you, yeah, they deliver mail. You know what I'm saying? It's like
they fabricate. They're fabricators.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they hype that up. I'm the president of this nonprofit organization or this group, and I'm going. Well, there's 3 of you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
and you're thinking, no, you're not.
Isn't it?
Yes.
But also ties in with lifestyle, a little bit like habits. But there are certain people in our world that they think pajamas is like the uniform of 24 hours a day. Have you met anybody like that?
Gary, the pajama look has gotten very popular.
They're in Walmart. They're at the gas station. They're in restaurants.
Yes.
You go to somebody's house and you're like, I thought we were going to wear more than pajamas, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Are you irritated though by this, Gary? Is this a trigger for you, the pajama pants?
Well, at some point you just have to step back. Maybe I need to get into wearing pajamas.
I think maybe you need to change your habits and you might find the enjoyment in it.
Yeah, I think pajamas are they're for a time of day and a setting. Then you put them on, you take them off. You see what I'm saying?
Why do you have to be in them all day?
Yeah. All right. So it's, but then on the other end is people who just buy designer stuff and they keep rubbing in.
They're bougie, right?
Their labels and their handbags and everything else. And it's like,
and they can't really afford that. Right.
Yeah. That's that. Yeah. They fall into this thing. One of my kids told me they're $50,000 millionaires, which means their family makes $50,000, but they live like a $1 million lifestyle. Right.
They like to look like they do. Yes. Yes.
And, and so that falls into that. But, the other thing about lifestyle too is people that they either underplan or overplan like vacations. Have you met somebody like that?
That might be me. I might be that irritating person. Yes. I overplan.
You overplan. Yeah. Have you been around people that underplan? Hey, we'll figure it out when we get there.
Well, that's an irritant to me. to say we'll figure it out when we get there is irritating to me. That just means you haven't even thought about this vacation and you don't know what to do with it.
Isn't that something like that? So, yeah. And, those things end up rolling us into my next major category called money and decisions. How's that sound?
All right. Go for it.
And, it used to be when we were much younger, if somebody used a credit card, right, they had to pull that machine out. Do you remember that machine? And they'd run the paper and you'd have to sign it. And sometimes they had to look up your number in a book to see if you had a legitimate
you're going credit card. Way back. Yes.
Isn't that insane?
Yes.
Well, now I'm to the point where if I'm behind anybody with a coupon, I'm probably going to find another line.
Yeah. Oh, please don't sort all those coupons out while you're at the counter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're pulling these things out to save 7 cents on something.
Oh, and then they have the person working behind the counters calling their manager. Is this still valid? Oh my gosh, you're right, Gary, to save 7 cents. You're right.
Isn't that something? And then, the other thing with money and decisions is, there are people that overpay for stuff. I've got relatives and friends that I know they pay too much for something. And it's
I've done that many times.
It's not me. I'm probably irritating to other people if I buy something, but it's quite interesting how it just frustrates me going, why didn't you stop and think? You didn't need to buy the most expensive phone at, Apple.
Well, Gary, I would say, why is that your concern?
Well, because I care about them. They're relatives, they're friends,
I care about their money habits.
Right. Or people, the same thing as people, they're not prepared for situations like, hey, let's go on a hike in the woods. It's a muddy day and they got tennis shoes on. See what I'm saying?
Oh, that's irritating.
Or it's going to rain and they don't have a jacket, being in different weather situations where people knew we were going to be at a football game and it's going to be 20 below zero and you better prepare, and they show up with
Gary, I feel like you need your list. I feel like you need lists with these categories that to your group, you pass out your list prior to the event.
Again, some of these things I probably do that irritate other people, right? So I do think, probably one of them is people who make the same mistakes over and over again, right? When you stop and think about it, somehow they bought a too expensive car. This is like the 5th time they've bought the too expensive car.
Didn't you learn the 4th time?
Yeah. They end up getting stuck in, leasing deals. They end up on timeshares.
You're hearing the same bad story over again that you've heard a million times.
How'd you get suckered into this timeshare? Are you that stupid? But they've also done it a few other times. They wanted to get the grill, I guess, the free grill that comes with the timeshare. It's like, oh my gosh.
Or they tell you, hey, I got a really good deal. And you've heard that come from that person many, many other times. And they're never a good deal.
Yeah. The other thing that gets me going is I group it into pets and parents, right?
Okay.
And I think really, I was talking to one of my kids about this, and they said, pretty much every parent is irritating, right? Because they always think
parents are irritating in general.
Yeah. Because they always think their kid is either the best or the worst, or, they let them scream in public, or, anything the kid does, it's like the Academy Award winning, whatever. And I do fall into that. I've had a friend recently look at me going, there's more than just your kids you can talk about,
then there's that.
I guess it's good to have an honest friend, but, when you stop it, but, when people talk about it over and over again, and then just, same with pets, there was a time you didn't have pets on airplanes. You didn't have pets.
Now they're everywhere.
Stores,
there are dogs and cats everywhere.
Yeah. And, I'm sure there's legitimate reasons, but it's just like, what happened to the world that now, it's just gone to the dogs.
And why do you have to have a little tiny carry dog? That your only purpose is to carry that cute little dog from place to place.
Yeah, at least at this time in the world. Everyone's got these little dogs. They're like the size of my foot, right?
They're toy dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, they carry them around everywhere. It's like that. And then the other thing about parents and all that is anyone that's planning a wedding or planning to have a baby. And it's just
a
like
big
months,
event, Gary.
It's like months and months and months.
Gary, does this really irritate you?
Well, at some point, it's like get a checklist, get a to-do list, and keep it to yourself. I don't need to know every little detail of what's going on.
For goodness sakes, Gary, and you and I are friends. I must irritate you 90% of the time.
No, you don't get into these details. It's just, it's those types of things that kind of irritate. So, the other thing, the next group I call it is personality and rudeness, right?
Yes.
And you're, again, meant into somebody that says, one thing that always drove me crazy, I worked at a company, and this one guy, Tom is his name. And
Tom.
Every time we would have any type of setting, he'd always be near me. And when I'd say something, he would say, what Gary's trying to say is.
Oh, no, that's the worst.
This went on for years. This went on for like 5 and 6 years.
And you want to say, I know what I'm saying. They can get what I'm saying.
Right. Isn't it hilarious?
Yes.
And then I'm sure this kind of falls into it too. It's people that show up either late to something.
Okay,
right?
me.
Or they show up early. What drives me sometimes crazy is the people that, I have in my mind, hey, I'm going to see them at 10 o'clock. I'll get it together about 5 minutes to 10 to get it together for when they show up. Now it's 9:45, and hey, they're waiting to talk to you. You know what I'm saying?
For me, I have to say the earliness is maybe more irritating because I'm not ready.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I have to do something different now.
Yeah, especially like work-related things where they say, okay, hey, let's review the budget at 3 o'clock. And then I get a call. Hey, can we do it in 5 minutes?
No.
I'm like, no, I can't. I was planning on pulling it together at 3:25.
Yeah, no, I'm not ready.
Isn't it? Now, this thing's happened recently. Thank goodness I don't have road rage. But when people cut in front of you in certain situations.
Yes, irritating.
I was at McDonald's and there's like a dual.
Okay, you've told me about this, the dual ordering.
Dual ordering. And the guy comes, he's ahead, he's behind me. Now he's next to me, the dual ordering. Now he's ahead of me, like 2 cars. I'm going,
well, Gary, he didn't know the rules. He don't know the rules. I don't know the rules of the dual ordering. Who does go first? Who falls in second?
Don't they have a way that they see you out some window or something like that?
I don't know. But as you're the driver, how do you know?
Oh, isn't it? Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't either.
The other thing, and this has always gotten me too. I mean, I'm glad in control, but when you're in a grocery store and the clerk is talking to the bagger, I call it. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
You got your groceries. And they're taking their good old time about whatever social thing they've got going on there. And I remember a couple of years ago, I was just so irritated. I'm like, I'm just trying to get through the line here. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get my stuff in the bag.
So, Gary, that's one of mine is being in a slow line at the store. A slow line. The person paying can't find their ATM card. They go to pay cash. Oh, wait, I got another card. And then, wait, and now the person behind the counter is engaging to them, right? Now they're, I really like this shampoo. And now they're having a conversation about, can we just check out and go home?
Yeah, believe me, I've got more stories than I want to tell. But, and this is kind of a funny thing. So this is just, people now that are like in the Starbucks and Chick-fil-A's, they're like in these huge lines. Have you noticed that? They put their car.
They have no problem waiting in those huge lines. Yes.
Yeah. But they're also out in the street now. You're gunning down the street. And all of a sudden now you come up to this, is there a car accident? Is something?
No, it's Chick-fil-A's line.
Yeah. It's Chick-fil-A line. And I'm in it. Why am I?
You're in that line. Oh, Gary, that is so funny. I got to tell you what's irritating to my husband when you brought up Starbucks.
Yes, right.
He wonders why can they not call small, medium, and large? Why do they have to call grande? Why do they have to call venti? Why can't we not just say small, medium, and large? And to this day, when he goes to Starbucks, he will order it. Small, medium. I would like a small vanilla latte. He refuses the grande.
So, and I go to restaurants a lot. I travel a lot. But, there's people who, eat with their mouths open. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's like the most, in elbows on the table. Oh, poor table manners is the most irritating.
people, again, this is a little irritant, but people who are like, they're trying to engage with their waitress, or waiter, much more than they need to, right?
Yeah, meanwhile, you don't need to be friends with that person. That's remember our friendship talk? That's the friendship utility.
Is it? Okay, I'm not sure. I've got a good friend, and when he goes anywhere, hey, are you in school? How long have you worked here?
Those are things I could care less about. You don't need to know that.
Well, part of me's thinking if I was at another table, I'd want my waitress or waiter to come over and give me my food. Do you know what I'm saying? Or
yes. Something. The only thing we're talking about here is expediting the service.
Yeah. So
right.
These are just, again, it ties in with that same person is a great tipper, by the way. Gives a tip to, and,
well, that makes a big difference then.
Yeah. But I think one of the big irritants to it, and this ties in with me, I guess, is people who tell stories. I love telling stories.
Gary, you're the biggest storyteller I know.
And I know that's got to be a royal irritant to people that they've.
Oh, so that's your irritant to others.
Oh, that I tell the same stories probably over and over again. I'm a lousy singer. Thank goodness I've only had bowled into karaoke a few times in my life. But if you can't sing, don't sing. All right.
Okay. If you can't sing, don't do it.
One of the few times I did it, actually with my sister, the whole place stopped. I've never been anywhere where the entire bar restaurant.
You were that bad?
They were so horrified that we were trying to sing. Yes.
Oh, now see, that would have made me laugh. Or might I felt bad for you because I would have thought, do they think they are good?
Isn't it funny? Yeah. Oh, and then two other things that I jotted down. One was the fact that whenever I play a game, like a card game or, any kind of game, I make up my own rules, and I do that so I can.
Gary, you are an irritant.
And then the last one, and anyone that knows me, I butcher words terribly. All right. And one of the favorites was, it looks like a buffalo, but it's bison. Right? You know what bison is?
A bison.
Yeah, I call it bison, right? Like a croissant.
Gary, we're coming to the end of this. And I just had 30 minutes of everything about you well, heck, I think I'm irritated all get out right now. Just having this conversation with you was irritating.
Thank you to anyone that's listened to the entire podcast. Right?
Yeah, oh gosh, I'm so irritated. I need to go for a walk. Well, everyone, that brings us to an end of another fun show. So thanks to everyone who's listening to us. Please subscribe. Please share our podcast, and we'll see you next time.